Good day to the team of Elefante. I'm so happy and glad to see you guys and hear from you guys. I just want to thank you for the opportunity to showcase my skill and then my understanding of the HubSpot CRM platform. I'm so happy uh, to be part of this process, and I will give it my best and try as much as possible to answer all your questions and anything that you may have coming up. My name is Paul Ezeani. I'm the CRM administrator, Hotspot CRM administrator of Fortin Homes, a real estate company based in Denver, Colorado. I work from Nigeria remotely, and I'm very glad for this opportunity to showcase my Hotspot knowledge. Now let's get to the instructions that you sent out. The first instruction I was asked by your team members to do was to create two workflows in HubSpot. When a contact us form is submitted, round robin the contact between three sales AEs, create a deal with the default amount of $100 and set the deal name of the contact and the deal name of the company. So the first steps we in this workflow, we have to choose our triggers, select the triggers for this workflow, and then when you go to HubSpot, the trigger for this workflow is form submission. Now, you can create different forms on your website, and for your in your CRM, and then you place these forms on different assets, collaterals that you have. Uh, so I created a form. I already have forms that I used, and then I just chose this particular form um, for fourth asset management lead form for tenants. I just use that as an example, as a trigger well, for the websites where I place this form. Once a contact fills this form, they will get enrolled in this workflow. So this is an event based trigger, events actions that occur in your website. So the events that will trigger this workflow is the form submission, and then I chose one of my forms I had that I've prepared um, in my Hotspot CRM as the trigger for this workflow. So the next step is to assign this. The next step in the instruction, or the next instruction, was to assign to round robin this contact between three sales AEs. Now, what this round robin means is you are trying to allocate or divide these contacts among your sales AEs in a proportional manner on a first come first serve basis, depending on the availability of your AEs. So what this does is that contacts that come in will be rotated amongst the available sales AEs, and then the hotspot action for this is the rotate record to owner, and then I rotated the incoming contacts between two owners. I'm supposed to rotate to three, but this is just for description purposes. And then for you to be able to successfully rotate records between owners, the users who you want to rotate the records to have to own a sales seat in your CRM. A user that is not that does not have the sales seat in your CRM cannot rotate records contacts to these users. So the three sales AEs are going to be rotated. Like if you go, if I'm to use an example, this is just a rough workflow I will use to explain things along the way. Let me cancel this, and then I will go to your CRM section of um, the action, and then I will go down to rotate record to owner. This is where I selected um, the action that says rotate record to owner. Now you have the ability to rotate between users or teams. Now you to create teams, you need to set it up in your CRM setup. You create your teams and then you add the sales AEs to the specific team you want. Now, if the sales AEs are a member of a particular thing, I can use this and then choose the team that they belong to. But since I don't have that, I'm using specific users and then I can choose users who I want to rotate this record to from the list that drops down here. So let me just pick myself and then Jake and then um, look at them here. They will show up and then save this record. They are supposed to be three. I can pick three, but these are the current two with sales hits. So I'm just using for descriptive purposes, and then you have them. So what this does is that the incoming contacts will be assigned between the number of users that have been selected. Uh, Users have been selected to rotate these records to, and then they will become owners of these contacts going forward. So going back to the question, it now says this takes care of the round robin aspect of the question between the three sales is AEs, round robin the contact between the three sales AEs. Now the next step of the action is to create a deal with the default amount of $100 and set the deal name, the name of the contact, and the name of the company. So to do that, you can you have to activate another action and then go down to the CRM aspect. Then you go to create record. You will now search for what type of record you want to create. Then you have a list of objects that will pop up, drop down list, and you select deal. Now I can assign this deal to existing contact owner here, and then existing owner of the contact. Which contact owner? We'll just leave it at contact owner, and then the deal name. This is where I will enter the name of the deal. I can say the new rental property deal in probably Miami or any name I just want to give that is relevant to this particular um, workflow. So then the calendar date, I can choose a calendar date, which is I can choose today or maybe a specific date, um, and then the deal amount. This was what you asked for. I will set it at $100, and then another thing we would like to do is uh, the deal name. I just keep my mind. The question says set the deal name, the name of the contact, set the deal name, the name of the contact plus the name of the company. So my understanding of this question is I'm going to use the name of the contact and the name of the company as the deal name. So to do that, I'll need to use the token, the first name token, first name. I'll use I'll need to use the first name token, which I will need to enter here. First name. I'll select it. This would include the contact's first name. That was a mistake I made here. Let me just remove that mistake. And then I'll include a space. Then I'll include a last name. The last name, personalization property, token, and then the other one that was asked was, So I've included the name of the contact, first and last name, and then let me just put the deal name as, let's say, um, new um, condo condo uh, condo deal. Let me just put it as a deal name, and then I'll put the I can put a hyphen, and then the deal name. Make sure that the spaces are equal. I'll put the first name of the contact, the personalization token, the last name, and then another space. I can put a hyphen there, and then um, I can put company name. So this will be the deal name, condo deal, first name, last name, which is name of the contact, and then the company name. And then I'll have to choose a pipeline. I'll just choose any pipeline I want. Property owner lead pipeline. Let me just choose this pipeline prospects because they are kind of new. Um, they're new leads. So the next is I'll have to enter. I can choose a specific calendar date for the close date of the deal. You understand? When you expect this deal to be closed. So, but I'm not looking at that now. I can choose. Let's say I want this deal to close on the maybe on the 30th, 31st of August. That's too soon, but it's just an example. Then the default amount based on the question is $100. So I've included the $100 here, and then I'll save my um, this particular action, which is the create record action. So I'm just interpreting these instruction based on what the instruction says. Create a deal with the default amount and set the deal name, the name of the contact plus the name of the company. Okay, I think it's the deal name will be name of the contact, the first name of the contact, and the name of the company. Let me remove that condo deal there, and then so that it will be first name, last name, and then the company name. Then I'll save it. Also, if you want to include other associations here, I can say add timeline activity from the enrolled contact. I can say add timeline activities from companies to the deal starting from the last 30 days. Add tickets and then add them to the timeline. The essence of adding all these is to help you track comprehensively your interactions with the new leads that are coming in, so that you capture every action, every moment, and then you associate them with the contacts and then the deal. So all these acts as a source of intelligence that allows you to understand your contacts or your leads better. So the So going back to the workflow, I've already created out this workflow, but I'm just describing the process which I use to create each of the actions that I have in my workflow. So having described how I went about it, let me speed through the remaining parts of the workflow to save time. So there was something I missed at the beginning. This question requires me to send a marketing email. You understand? And then it says ensure all prior steps are taken for the email to go out. Ensure all prior steps are taken for the email to go out. Now, when you want to send a marketing email in the HubSpot CRM, you have to ensure that you have your marketing email already created. You understand? And the only kind of marketing email that works with Hotspot workflow is the automated email. You will need to create what is known as an automated email in HubSpot to be able to send out marketing, to be able to use those emails in your workflow. So I would to just use that. You just go to the email section, go to email, create email. You see three options. The middle, I think, is um, automated email option. You choose the automated email. You enter your email copy, the title, the name of the email. Ensure every information that you need to enter about the email is set, and then um, you publish your email. Once the email has been published, you'll be able to use it in the workflow, and then you'll be able to use it in the workflow. So that is just one of the first steps. And for you to send marketing emails to these new leads that have just come into your system, you will need to set them as marketing contacts. Because without you setting these new leads as marketing contacts, you wouldn't be able to send marketing emails to these contacts. So what I did, I used the contact status set marketing contact status action. You understand? I can choose to set these new leads as marketing contact or set them as non-marketing contact. But I chose set as marketing contact and save them. So I saved this particular action. What this allows me to do is that these new leads that are coming in, their status will be changed from non-marketing contacts to marketing contacts. This will allow them, give them the ability to receive, or this will give you the ability to send marketing emails to these contacts. You can send a normal one-on-one email to these contacts, but in Hotspot, for you to send out a marketing email, you will have to set the marketing contact status of these new leads as marketing contacts, which I have done using this particular action. So what I usually do is once you have set up a particular action, I usually, especially something that has to change the status of a particular contact or record you have in your CRM, I usually add a delay of 10 minutes because this is a cloud-based automation that requires time to propagate and everything. So, in order not to allow any hitch, I usually allow a little delay, not compulsory though. Some people might just skip the delay aspect, but I added a 10 minutes delay to this workflow to give enough time for HubSpot to convert the new leads and set their marketing status as marketing contacts. So I added a 10-minute delay and then proceeded to send the marketing email. Of course, the we'll have to send to the enrolled contact in this automation, which I've chosen, and then the automated email. You can see here why I said we'll need to create the automated email at first. Without that, you can see the instructions here. It says the information here. It says only emails saved for the automation will appear here. Only email saved for automation will appear here. So if you have created an email and published an email that is not saved as an automated email, you wouldn't be able to send out um, that particular email to this contact. So all emails that appear in this section are all marketing emails. You understand? They are all marketing emails, and then I've created and then I included them in this workflow. to send. So So what it does is that once this workflow is published and then the contacts have been enrolled, once it gets to this particular stage, they will receive a marketing email from this um, um, workflow tool. So the next instruction says notify AEs via email, create a task, and send a Slack message about the new lead. So we'll start with the first action, which is to notify AEs via email. So to notify your AEs, you will need to send an internal email. The previous email we sent was an external email. So this is an internal email notification. And then I will now select which users I want to receive um, the internal email, which I had the these users have been previously selected as a previous action in this workflow. So I can choose to send it to teams. If I already have a team, instead of sending to users, I can just choose a team that this internal email notification will go to. Then I'll add the subject of the email. I can just say marketing email has been sent out, add the body, the kind of information I want in the email, and then I save. You understand? This will notify the um, the respective owners of these new contacts or the team members, the AEs, um, with the kind of information you want to share as soon as the previous step, which was the external email, has been sent. So it's just basically to notify the AEs that we have sent the marketing, the new leads have received the marketing email. So they will become aware at with this particular action. So the next step would be to create a task. After notifying the AE via email, create a task and send a Slack message. So we'll create a task by using the create a task action with in your HubSpot. You could just say the next action, you go to CRM, you now go to create a task. This is where you create a task. You enter the task title, you could make it either email, calls, to do, um, sales navigator email. Just choose the particular um, tax requirements you want your um, AEs to do. If you want them to call, you can choose call. If you want them to send an email or you want um, to do what you want them to do, you choose one of these stuff. So let me just say um, email. I can make it due immediately. I can put a specific custom date um, to make the tax due. So I can make it 3 business days, 5 business days, depending on what you like. Then a reminder, if you want a reminder before your tax due date, you can choose a custom date for your reminder and then you enter it. Then the notes for the tax. This is where you're going to enter instructions that you want your AEs to be aware of concerning this particular tax. If you want them to call, you want them to follow up, you want them to send an email to the new leads or check up on them, this is where you're going to enter your instructions. And then you can decide to add them. If you have a tax queue, you can decide to add them to any tax queue, or then you can choose the priority of your tax. If it's a very, very important tax, you can make it a high priority tax. And if it's not too important, like averagely important, medium, then low, then you can now assign this tax to specific users. You understand? So I can just choose to assign it to one of my AEs, or I can just choose all the members of all the AEs that I want to execute this task for them to follow up leads that they've been assigned to. So I can choose my users. If I choose specific users, or I can say an existing owner of this contact. This will make sure that all the AEs that have been assigned contacts, new leads or contacts will be notified. Like they will have tags depending on the contacts that they have that they will need to follow up. So, and then which contact owner, I can just use contact owner. So then I will save. Once I save this, I didn't enter a title for this tax. I was just using this to explain. I've already created the tax here. Um, this is where I created the tax, and then I assigned the tax to the contact owner. So check up on the title of the tax is check up on the new leads in 5 days. So uh, check up on the new leads in 5 days. So the next one is to send a Slack message about the new leads. So what I'll do here is to use the unfortunately this account doesn't have the Slack integration. So um, I don't have the Slack integration, so I will go here just to create just to describe how I'll go about it. I'll go here, then come down to the integrated app section, then choose Slack. Let's say this is Slack, for example. Then I will now say send notification notification message. Then I will now once the Slack integration um, once the the tab for the Slack option comes in, I will now choose the specific Slack channel I want the message delivered, or um, Slack team I want to get that message. So we are going to use the Slack integration to do that, which is usually at the bottom side, the integration aspect of the action tab. So we have the sales. I can choose to send SMS to a specific team. We have this SMS integration. So usually Slack is around here. So we send a Slack notification to a specific Slack channel where all the AEs belong to, so that they will get um, um, information or um, about the new tasks that have been assigned to them. Although Hotspot will automatically send emails um, when a task is created to users that they have a task and then inform them. So with the Slack integration, you can update your Slack channel right from the integrated apps section. Once you have your Slack app installed, you should be able to send notification to your Slack to the team Slack channel. So I think that ends this particular workflow. Although there are some other aspects of the workflow, like once I want to start a workflow, I usually start with a goal. But for this particular exercise, I will leave the goal out of this particular workflow. So jumping to the second instruction, this is a bit. This is a bit. This is a bit a complicated. Um, this is a bit. How will I call it? A more sophisticated question that requires. This is a more sophisticated question that requires. Um, okay, going to your second question. The second question says, the second instruction, I mean, says create a calculation property called deal size that is a currency property type and is a result of multiplying the following two properties: expected FDV in USD, percentage of token allocation. And then the supplementary instruction says copy the deal size value to the amount default property of the deal. Make sure that every time the expected FDV or percentage of token allocation is changed, the amount is also changed since the deal size is changing. So this is a question that requires you to think and then be constructive on how you go about it. I how I approached this question was, um, I already understand, already have a perfect understanding of what calculation properties are in HubSpot, and then I just had to look for how to pull all this together. For the expected FDV, I think this is a fully um, diluted value, expected fully diluted value from my understanding, and then percentage of token allocation. So I think the one with the clearest instruction here is the deal size, which says that this is a currency property type, and it is a result of multiplying the following two properties. So how I went about this was I created three calculation properties, um, using the deal objects and their associated properties. This is just to try to keep everything streamlined. I didn't want to mix up different objects with different properties while I created this calculation property. So I went to, okay, this was the first property. Okay, this was the last property I created, which is the deal size. There was a reason I made this last. I had to create the expected FDV first as a property. Field type, you can see calculation, calculated property type, custom equation, and then um, the I think the question says the FDV must the expected FDV must have the currency in USD. So I set it as the numeric format as a currency. So I'm not too knowledgeable about what this expected FDV is, but I had to improvise a calculation, which was using a deal amount multiplied by 1,000. So whatever deal amount is entered in for a deal record, um, to get the FDB based on my own formula is to multiply that amount by 1,000, and then I saved it as my F expected FDV. So after creating the expected FDV, remember this formula can be used. It depends on how the company wants to calculate this formula. You enter your custom calculations here, and then you save it um, um, for the particular calculation property you are just trying to create. So this is just to describe how where I entered the formula. So looking at after creating the expected deal expected FDV, I created I created the expected FDV. The reason why I created this was because I wanted to use it to I created it first was because I wanted to use it to calculate the deal size, which I will show to you shortly. So I had to create out the two um, main formulas that we use in calculating the deal size. So this might not be the correct formula for calculating the expected FDV, but I'm just describing to you how you can enter um, calculations, custom calculations in your uh, custom calculations property, and then use it um, in your CRM. So The next was to create the percentage of token allocation. I created another property, calculation property. I can see the field type is, you can see the field type is calculation, and then the calculation property type was custom equation. So I used it based on my understanding as a percentage, the numbering format. I wanted it to come out as a percentage, but you could use it in a variety of ways. You could multiply this by a particular amount, deal amount in your CRM, and then it will act as a percentage of that deal. So in a variety of ways, but I just chose to keep it simple, and then used 25%, and then I saved this as the percentage of token allocation recalculation. This is just for descriptive or um, descriptive purposes. So after creating that, then the next was to create the deal size. So I already have my expected FDV. I already have my percentage of token allocation calculation properties already set. So the next one was to create the deal size. So I created a deal size. It's a calculation field type. Calculated property type is custom equation, and then the number format is currency as um, instructed um, by the second instruction. It says create a calculation property called deal size that is a currency property type and is a result of multiplying the following two properties. So this the deal size calculation property, this is what it looks like, and then for the custom calculation, I multiplied the expected FDV by the percentage of token allocation. These are properties I've initially um, calc- um, calculated and saved in the CRM. So I just pulled the calculated properties and then multiplied them together as instructed by the question, and then I saved it. So, and you can know if your formula is correct. If I enter an expected FDB of, let's say, 500, or let's say 5,000, and then percentage of token allocation, I can just say, let's say 20. So test formula, you see, it will give you 20%, which is 1,000. 20% of 5,000, which is 1,000. So this shows that the formula is actually working. So I then let me go back to a deal. I created a deal and then pulled out these calculated um, properties. Let me go to deals. I created a deal, and then I the deal card. I had to include these properties as I had to pull out these properties and include it in my deal card to show up at the left side of my deal information section. This is just a test deal I created. A test deal I created for this contact. This is where I pull the information the calculated field properties I created. You can see the first, I pulled up the deal size, which is the deal size, and which says is $500,000 here. Then the expected FDV is 2 million, and then the percentage of token allocation is what, 25%. So remember, in the expected FDV, I the expected FDV was calculated by multiplying the amount of the deal by 1,000. The amount of the deal, which is 2,000 by 1,000. So when you go back to your deal, you see that we are having $2 million expected FDP. This is based on the formula that has been calculated and then um, inserted. Formula has been calculated and saved up in the CRM as calculated as calculation properties. So you can see the expected FDV, and then you can see the deal size, which is saying $500,000. Remember, 25% of 2 million is what? $500,000. So the multiplication of 25% by 2 million or will give you $500,000. So you can see how I pulled up the deal calculated calculation properties information and then saved it up to this um, um, deal card to display at the left side of the deal information section. So now, if I change the deal, the amount of, take notes, this the deal size is $500,000, but this deal size is dependent on is dependent on the percentage of token allocation, is dependent on the expected FTV, and also dependent on the amount. I included the amount in the formula for calculating the deal size because I wanted it to show that you could um, you could fluctuate the figures if you want. If you want to know what it looks like if you change the deal amount to, let's say, for example, let's say you want to change the deal amount to, let's say, for example, $3,000. Remember, the deal size is $500,000, which I showed you previously. Let me change this to $3,000 and then save. Once we save it, you see that the deal size will change. So we have saved it. As I changed it from the deal amount from 2,000 to $3,000. So let's go to the deal size. Now our deal size is now $750,000. Expected FDV is now 3 million. Remember the expected FDV formula which I used, multiplying by the deal amount by 1,000. So that's how I write that $3 million, and then the percentage of token allocation, which is 25% of this 3 million, um, brought out this of $750,000. So if I change this percentage of token allocation to, let's say, 50%, the expected FDV will also change. The deal size will also change. If I change the expected FDV, the deal size will also change because the combination of these two, the multiplication of these two, as you can see from here, 25% by $3 million is $750,000. So if I change any of these, either the percentage of token allocation or expected FDV, the deal size is going to change. So the next part of the question is to copy the deal size value to the amount default property of the deal. Make sure that every time the expected FDV or percentage of token allocation is changed, the amount is also changed since the deal size is changing. We've taken care of how the deal size, the percentage of token allocation, and the expected FDV changes the deal size. So now we want to ensure that when we make changes to the percentage of token allocation or expected FDV, the deal amount is also changed. So to do this, we need to use the workflow to execute this particular task. This instructions requires that I create two workflow, and then I've taken care of the first. This is the second workflow. Now, going to the workflow, to be able to do that, I will need to copy I'll need to set a trigger using the deal size, and then um, copy the property value of the deal size to the deal amount area. So you can accomplish this using the hotspot workflow. So let's go to the workflow and let me show you what it looks like. Now, this is the enrollment trigger I used for this workflow. I said when the deal size is known, when the deal size is known, is the enrollment trigger for this workflow. So I saved it. So the next action um, I used was the copy property value action. So what did was to copy the deal size to the amount. So the deal size is the deal is the target object. The property to copy the deal size to is what? The amount which I choose. So the copy property value ensures that once the deal size is changed, the amount of the deal, the default amount of the deal will also be changed because I'm copying the value from the deal size to um, the default deal amount. Then I will save. But one thing with workflow is that um, once there's a deal size, and then it says once the deal size is known, copy the deal size to the amount. That is the copy property value. So, but if you do this, if you just set up your workflow just like this with the copy deal size to amount, it will just copy. It might just do the first copy and not execute again to ensure that your changing deal size um, continues to copy to the amount to ensure that the amount continues changing as a result of the deal size, the fluctuations in deal size. If the deal size goes up, the amount should also go up exactly the same way the deal as in they should be the same because I am actually copying the value of the deal size to so they are basically the same amount. So the deal size changes in deal size should affect the amount. So I use the copy property value to copy the deal size amount to the default deal amount in HubSpot. So to ensure that this is a continuous step, I had to use the enrollment trigger, um, which I got which I got by going to the re-enrollment trigger here. So to keep the process continuous, because if you don't re-enroll re-enroll the contacts that have the deals that have gone through this particular workflow, um, they wouldn't be they would just the workflow will just stop right there. And when the amount of the deal size is changing, it will not affect the default deal amount to just stay in one place. So to ensure that the changes in the deal size is constantly affecting the amount, I must what allow deals to re-enroll after completing this workflow, so that and I set it as the re-enrollment trigger for this is deal size what is known. So once the deal size continues to change, as the re-enrollment trigger will ensure that that deal is re-enrolled into this workflow, and then the deal size is copied towards the amount. So it's just like a circle. Once the deal size changes and the re-enrollment criteria is on, the deal will be re-enrolled, and then the deal size property is once the deal size property is known, the information will be copied towards the amount and then re-enrolled if the deal size is known. This will make sure that changes in the deal size will constantly be re-enrolled into this workflow, and then it will be copied. Um, it will be copied to the deal amount. So once you make changes to the deal size, and you make changes to the deal size at any point in time, it will be re-enrolled into this workflow, and then the amount of the deal size will be copied to the default amount of the deal. So I think this basically answers the question. I hope I was able to clearly articulate this point to you, and I just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to explain my knowledge and my understanding of the CRM. Thank you once again. Looking forward to hearing from you and your team. Thank you very much.